Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar in a busy schedule. So before I move on, I want to ensure that everyone can hear my voice and view the presentation clearly. So you can confirm that by commenting in the chat section. Let me wait for some more confirmation. Thank you so much. So this is our training schedule. It is a 7-week series, and we are in week 6 now, where we will see about the benefits of integrating Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus product. This session will be recorded, and it will also be available in the below mentioned website. In case if you have missed the previous training session or to check the question and answers, you can visit the same URL. Also, the recorded video will be sent to all the registered participants via email once after the session is over. The Desktop Central integration with ServiceDesk Plus. The Desktop Central is an endpoint management software which helps you to manage your laptop, desktop, server, and you'll also be able to push patches, install software, take remote connections. Whereas ServiceDesk Plus is a ticketing tool which helps you to manage your IT assets. So why you need to integrate an endpoint management software with your ticketing system? That is what I'm going to explain in this today's training session. My name is Ruben Karthik, and I have 3 years experience with ManageEngine. I do the training and implementation for Desktop Central, Patch Connect Plus, and mobile device management solution. So let us look into the agenda, what we have for today. First, I'll be covering the integration architecture between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus. Then I'll show you how to set up the integration, what procedure you should follow in order to integrate both the products. This entire training session is based on a problem and solution approach, like what the help desk technician would face in his day-to-day work cycle, and how efficiently he can resolve such requests with help of DC and SDP integration. The first use case is about troubleshooting an audio issue raised by the end user. Second, I'll show you how to deploy a software when a request is raised by the end users in ServiceDesk Plus product, and how to approve commercial software and allow the users to install it. Fourth, we'll also see how to deploy a configuration template like IP printers or secure USB configurations, and also script right from your ServiceDesk Plus product after the integration with Desktop Central. And finally, we'll also see how to maintain an up-to-date inventory details right in your ServiceDesk Plus product. Moreover, from my support experience, I've also covered certain real-time scenarios and its solution. Last, we'll discuss on the frequently asked questions with respect to Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration. Meanwhile, if you, the viewers, have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat box. I have my expert panel right here with me who will be addressing your questions then and there. So these are the 3 supported operating systems which works with respect to Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus integration. I might sometimes refer Desktop Central as DC and ServiceDesk Plus as SDP for my convenience. The Desktop Central is DC and ServiceDesk Plus as SDP. So now let's look into the architecture. ServiceDesk Plus and Desktop Central follows the client and server model, which means you need to install the server and the agent in all the managed computers to perform any activities. But in case if you are going to integrate FTP with Desktop Central, you just need to have one single agent, which is going to be your Desktop Central agent to carry out all the management activities. To understand the architecture in a better way, let's say a user have raised a request for software installation. So what you do, you'll open up the request. Right after integrating Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus, you can initiate the installation from ServiceDesk Plus console itself. So what happens? This installation request will be sent to Desktop Central server, and Desktop Central server will use the appropriate agent and initiate the software installation task. Once after the software is installed, DC agent will post back the status to Desktop Central server, which in turn will update that information to ServiceDesk Plus. So this is how the workflow will be. From STP, it goes to DC server. From DC server, it uses the agent and complete the task. After completing the task, DC agent will post back the status to Desktop Central server, which will be updated to ServiceDesk Plus. Let's see what are the features you can integrate from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus. First, asset data. So real-time asset data can be transferred from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus. As we all know, ServiceDesk Plus also has this asset module. So how it is going to differ from Desktop Central's inventory? In ServiceDesk Plus, if you want to check the asset details, you will have to manually initiate a scan or need to schedule it. But in Desktop Central inventory, whenever there is a change in hardware or software, automatically the agent will trigger the scan and post the details. So that Desktop Central can collect the real-time data, that is the updated information, and which can be posted to ServiceDesk Plus. So you can enable this feature, and Desktop Central also offers you to install and uninstall software. You can enable this option so that whenever you get a request for software installation, you can do it right from your ServiceDesk Plus console. And you do have an option to publish the configuration template from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus. And you can also take remote control using Desktop Central agent from the ServiceDesk Plus console. And now we have also introduced this feature, prohibited software request. So in DC inventory, you can prohibit certain software which you don't want to allow the users to use it in your network. And in case if the end users actually need such software, you can send a request, and those requests will be formed as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus product, which you can take necessary actions, whether you can approve or deny the software. If you deny it, the software will be uninstalled. And finally, you do have an option to log help desk request using the Desktop Central agent. And here the benefit is, even if your mail server is down, using the Desktop Central agent, the users can send request to the API, and help desk technician can take necessary action. And Desktop Central also monitors the hardware and software changes. If any hardware is added or detected, or when a software is installed or uninstalled, those changes can be logged as a ticket. So these are the features which is available in Desktop Central and which can be integrated to ServiceDesk Plus. So I'll be covering the benefits of enabling all these features in the upcoming slides. So now let us see how to set up the integration. And this involves two simple steps. First one, creating an API key in Desktop Central and updating it in ServiceDesk Plus. And right away, you can also generate another API key in ServiceDesk Plus and update in Desktop Central. So this ensures the communication is happening between a trusted source. And finally, the second step is choosing the features which you want to integrate from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus. So to illustrate it, let me go to the product console. We go to Admin tab. You have this integration section, and first step involves API key generation. So I'll click on this option. You can see the list of technicians available in your setup, and for which technician you wanted to integrate the product, you can enable this option. You can click on this. If you're going to do it for the first time, it will be as generate. Since I've done a couple of times, the option is changed to regenerate. So I'll generate the key, and I'll copy the key, and you must save before you update this key in your ServiceDesk Plus product. So to paste the details, I'll go to ServiceDesk Plus product. I'll go to Admin tab again. We have general settings, under which you'll find ME integration. So these are the products which can be integrated with ServiceDesk Plus. Now our aim is to show the benefits of integrating Desktop Central. So I'll click on this Desktop Central option. You furnish the details of your Desktop Central server, and Desktop Central uses 8020 port. And now I'm going to paste the key which I've generated from Desktop Central product. So you click on test connection and save. So this is going to verify the connectivity, and it is going to update the connection. Now one way I've generated the API key from Desktop Central and updated the details in ServiceDesk Plus. To complete the integration, I will have to generate another key from ServiceDesk Plus and update that in Desktop Central. So to generate the key from ServiceDesk Plus, you have this option. You click on the logged in username. You click on API key generation. And you do have an option to set an expiry date in case if you want the technicians to periodically check and integrate the product, you can choose an expiry date and set it. For now, for my convenience, let me choose this API key never expires. I'll generate the key, copy it, and to update these details, I'll have to again go to Admin tab, Integration section, and ServiceDesk Plus settings. So like we said before, we need to update the details of ServiceDesk Plus server here, and ServiceDesk Plus uses 8080 port, and you paste the key which you have generated from ServiceDesk Plus product. So before I save it, the second step involves choosing the features. So here you have an option to choose what are the features you wish to integrate from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus. I would like to transfer the inventory details, the updated details of all my computers to ServiceDesk Plus. So I've enabled this option. I would like to install software. So I need to choose software deployment. I would also like to deploy certain configuration templates. You choose what are the features you wish to integrate. Even if you want to take remote connection using Desktop Central Agent, you can enable this option and update the details and save it. So this is going to check for the connection again, and it is going to establish successfully. So to ensure the integration is done successfully, you can click on this jump to STP option so to land it to the appropriate STP server. You can even double check from the STP product this way. So now what we did, we have generated an API key from Desktop Central, updated that information in ServiceDesk Plus. Likewise, I've generated another API key from ServiceDesk Plus and updated that information in TC. And finally, I choose what are the features I wish to integrate from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus. As you could see, this involves two simple steps. And let me show you how powerful you can use the features after integrating Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. My expert panel will be answering all your questions then and there. So let's go to the use cases now. The first use case is about troubleshooting an audio issue raised by the user. For a help desk technician, this is a very common problem which he would face in his day-to-day work cycle. So he might get requests on audio problems or printer issues or the system is slow. For all such requests, he might either actually go to the end user's place and troubleshoot. If not, request the users to bring the laptop to pit stop for troubleshooting. But in case, if you have integrated Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus, you can right away initiate a remote connection and troubleshoot all your issues from your place. So let me show you how to do that. So you go to request section. Here you can see all the requests raised by the end users. So let me search for the use case which I'm going to discuss first, the audio problem. So I'll click on the request. I'll see which user have raised for it and for which asset. And I'll also like to check the asset details. So what could be the problem and why the why the user is not able to listen to the audio. So I can go to the audio section, go to the sound, and see is there a problem with the audio drivers. So maybe I'll try updating the drivers and see whether this resolves the case. To update the drivers, I need to remotely connect to the client computer. So I'll use this option, remotely connect using. You can see a lot of options. I would say you can always choose Desktop Central because Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus comes under the same ManageEngine family. And we have also deployed the Desktop Central agent in all the endpoints. You can just click on this option, provide the reason, troubleshoot the audio problem. So this will help you to track down when you check the audit history, so why we have connected to the computer. You click on connect and you'll be able to see the end user screen right away. So before you start troubleshooting, if you want to notify the end users about it, you have this option. You can either send via text, and voice call might not work since the user is facing the audio problems. You just send them a text message stating that you're going to take this PC for 5 to 10 minutes for troubleshooting the problem. And then after, you can carry out the actions. So you do have an option to blacken the end user screens in case if you're going to transfer any authenticated files in which you don't want the users to see. You can make use of this blacken monitor option. And disable input will disable the keyboard and mouse of the client user. So he might not interrupt when you troubleshoot such cases. You can just sit back and see what the admin or the help desk technician is performing on his computer. For now, like I said, this could be a problem with the audio drivers. So I can go to the quick launch option. I'll choose this device manager. So this could be a problem with the audio drivers. I'll go to the sound section. I'll expand it, right click and update the driver software. And here after updating the driver, sometimes we need to reboot the client PC in order to apply the changes. But since we have connected remotely, rebooting might lose the connection. But here, when you use Desktop Central, it will not be that way. So you can go to the option again, you can reboot the client PC, and once after the machine is rebooted, it will connect using the same session. So you can just click on this option, sit back until the PC gets rebooted. Once the machine is up, you can verify whether this audio is working fine or not, and then you can use the same chat option and update the user about it. So now let me close the remote session now. I can also add the work log and resolution. So in case if any other support technicians comes across the same audio problem, which is raised by the end users, they can just go and check the resolution which I have updated against the ticket, and you can use the same troubleshooting techniques for future benefits. So you can just click on save, and this will be updated against the ticket details, update the audio drivers. So as we could see, we can right away check the request, initiate the remote connection, and troubleshoot the support request then and there. So this will save a lot of time for the help desk technician. As me being a support technician, I know the effect of timing, so I would like to close all the support requests within the SLA. So this will help the help desk technicians to initiate remote connection or check the asset details then and there and troubleshoot efficiently. So let me show you how we can also take remote connection from Desktop Central product. So you can go to the Desktop Central console. You have this tool section, remote control, and you can search for the appropriate computer. And when you connect, you do have an option to update the support STP request ID. You can mention the request ID here. So whatever reason or the work log which you have updating after closing the remote connection will be updated against the ticket details. So this will also help you to verify the resolution or steps whatever you did after initiating the remote connection, even from your Desktop Central product. The first use case, we saw how to troubleshoot an audio issue or printer issue using the remote connection using Desktop Central agent. Let's go to the second use case, initiating software installation when a request is raised in ServiceDesk Plus. So this is also a common problem or a request which the help desk technician would face. He might get a lot of requests for specific software. So if the Desktop Central product is not integrated, the user has to check for which software and which computer or the user have requested for it. Then he might need to use another tool like Desktop Central or any other endpoint management software and initiate the installation. But after integrating, you can just click on the request, check for which software, and right away he has this option to install and uninstall software. So this option will pop up only after integrating Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. You can just click on this install uninstall software option, and this request is for MS Office 2016. So you can search for the software, select the software, and if the workstation has already been mapped, it will be grateful. If not, you can just change the asset and click on save. So once you did that, this installation will be triggered like we saw in the architecture. This command will be sent to Desktop Central server, and Desktop Central server will use the agent to initiate the software installation. Let me tell you how these software are getting populated. So in Desktop Central, you do have the software deployment module, and we have templates. They've already tested around 3,000 software and added in our software database. So whenever you wanted to create any software installation task, all you need to do is come here to the software deployment tab, search for the requested software, and you create it. So whatever package has been created will automatically pop up in the ServiceDesk Plus console. And you can choose for the appropriate software and map the computer and initiate the installation task. Getting lots of help desk requests to install business applications. So in this use case, we saw a user requested for MS Office. We clicked on the request name. We checked what software and for which computer this has been associated to. and we've initiated installation. What if the same MS Office 2016 is being requested by thousands of my users, maybe more than that? So I cannot go to each and every request, click on the details, initiate installation task. This will take a lot of time. So to tackle this use cases, we have also developed a new feature in Desktop Central called Self-Service Portal. As an admin, you know, a specific department needs such software. Let's say a finance department needs MS Office, Skype for Business, and Adobe software, and your sales technicians might require another set of software. As you being help desk technician, you can form a group, add all the computers under the department, and publish the software. So a self-service portal will help you to publish software to a specific group of computer, and the end users can decide what software they want, and they can initiate the installation task. So this way, the software will be listed. So they can go to self-service portal. I've already published certain software to my computers. So all you need to do is just place, drag and drop whatever software you wanted to publish to the end users and click on save. Once after publishing the software, the end users can go to either using the agent tray, they can right click and bring up the self-service portal window. If not, using the desktop shortcut, also from the start menu. So the end users can bring the self-service portal and they can initiate what software they want, and they can do it from here itself. So as you being help desk technician, you are publishing the software to the end users, and it is the end user's choice to decide what software they want out of this list, and they can initiate the installation task. So this way you can tackle if you're getting a lot of help desk requests from the users. So now let's go to the fourth use case. So if you have any questions, you please feel free to post them in the chat, and my expert panel will be answering your questions then and there. So now let's go to the fourth use case, approving software for deployment from ServiceDesk Plus. So if free software is being requested by the users, you can just go and publish it using self-service portal, or else you can click on the request name and initiate installation. What if a commercial software like the MS Office 2016 or Skype for Business has been requested by many of your users? You cannot just approve to all the users because this involves a license and you need to purchase the license based on the need. So to tackle this situation, we do have the same self-service portal with another option which requires an approval from the help desk technician to initiate the installation task. Let me modify the group again. So you have two sections here. The bottom section requires approval for installation. So you can place all the free software in the top section, and like Skype for Business and MS Office 2015 or 16 can be published in the bottom section. So these software, whichever you're publishing it in the bottom section, will require an approval mechanism, and the help desk technician can validate the request and then approve it for installation. Let me show you how. Just modify it. So this is the same UI, the self-service portal window. In case for all the free software, the users will have the option directly to install. But if you see for Adobe Acrobat or MS Office 2016, it will have the option as a request. The end users has to click on request option. I need to provide a message, maybe whatever reasons you like to provide, you can update that. And once you click on send request, this will be logged as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus product. The help desk technician can validate the reason, approve it, or deny. If you deny, the software will not be installed. But if you approve, the installation will be right away triggered on the client computer, and the status will be sent to Desktop Central server. Let me go to the request section. So you can see the software approval request. If not, you can click on the Home tab. Say a end user have requested for MS Office 2016. So you can find this option here. The help desk technician has to click on Take Action. You can either approve or reject. Like I said, if you approve, the installation task will be right away triggered on the client computer. If you reject, the software will not be installed on the client PC. The option will also be the status will also be updated to the self-service portal window against the user computer. So this helps you to validate the request for commercial software and approve it for the installation task. So to create this approval mechanism, we have this concept called service catalog in ServiceDesk Plus product. You can search for service catalog. You can create the catalog for application login or even hardware request or software request. So our aim is to create a template for software approval or software request. You need to click on the software installation, provide whatever options you wanted to update. If you want to install the software right away, or if you want to install template right from your ServiceDesk Plus product, you can enable all these options. So when a user sends a request using this service catalog, you can enable all the quick launch options. And even for self-service portal, you need to create a separate template, and you need to provide this template name here in Desktop Center product. You can go to self-service portal settings, give a name, the catalog, whatever you have updated. And so whenever a user sends a request, it will be logged as a ticket in ServiceDesk Plus product, and help desk technician can take necessary action. So let me quickly show you how the approval mechanism works in self-service portal for commercial software. The user will open up the self-service portal window, and if he needs a commercial software, he'll click on the request option, update the details, and that will be logged as a ticket. So when a user clicks on request, this installation request will be sent to Desktop Central Server, and Desktop Central Server will update that detail to ServiceDesk Plus. The help desk technician can validate the reason, approve or deny it based on his action. The status will be sent to Desktop Center. If the help desk technician approves the software, so the Desktop Center will right away initiate the installation task using the agent on the appropriate client computer. So this is how the self-service workflow will be. Let's go to the next use case, how to deploy configuration templates from your ServiceDesk Plus console. Let's take a real-time example. A new user have joined your company and is requesting for printer, so he's not able to print. So you send a request to your ServiceDesk Plus product. In Desktop Central, if you have created a configuration template, it will be published to ServiceDesk Plus product as well. So you can, whatever templates you have created, if you have created a template for IP printer, this will be updated to ServiceDesk Plus product. You need to provide the DNS name, the printer details, and publish it to ServiceDesk Plus. If you have targeted a domain or a work group or ADOU, so whenever a new user joins the AD domain, the printer configuration will automatically be applied. In case if you have targeted a remote office or your local office, so then this configuration will not be applied to the new user. In such cases, the users will send a request to your ServiceDesk Plus product, and you need to click on the request and initiate the installation task. So how to do that? You go to the same request section. Let's say a user have requested for the printer. Then you need to click on this request details. So after integrating Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus, you will have this option, resolve request using template. So like I said, if you have already created a template for IP printer here in Desktop Central server, it will be automatically published to ServiceDesk Plus. So all you need to do is click on the Actions tab, use this option, resolve request using templates. You can find out whatever template you have created in Desktop Central here. Choose the computer name and initiate it. So this will save a lot of time, because when you get such requests, instead of going to another endpoint management software, creating a configuration, and then applying to the appropriate target, this will take a lot of time. So one time, you can create a template in Desktop Central Server, and you can use the same template to any number of requests for multiple users. So just need to click on Deploy Configuration. Like we saw in the architecture, this installation request will be sent to Desktop Central Server, and Desktop Central Server will use the appropriate agent and on the appropriate computer, and it will initiate the installation task. Not just for printer configuration, even if you have created a script or If you want to run any templates, you can also make use of this. So we do have 181 scripts for various purposes, like if you want to change the computer description or a file folder extension, a password reset. So you can just create all the scripts. So whatever scripts you have created here will automatically publish to the ServiceDesk Plus product, and which can be used for the deployment purpose. So these are the use cases which I've covered, which will show the benefits of having Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. So let's see how to maintain an up-to-date inventory details in your ServiceDesk Plus product. So as I said, Desktop Central will have the updated information. So whenever there is a change in hardware or software, automatically a scan will be triggered on all the endpoints, and the agents will post its status to your Desktop Central server. So this information will be transferred to ServiceDesk Plus product right away. So every 2 minutes, the Desktop Central server will update the information. If not, when you initiate a scan, once the scanning is completed, this information will be updated to ServiceDesk Plus product. So either when a scanning is completed, if not, for every 2 minutes, Desktop Central server will update the inventory details to ServiceDesk Plus product. So if you haven't integrated, you'll have to go to the asset section, manually initiate a scan, and find out the live information of all the workstations you manage. You can go to the request section now. The assets, you click on the workstation, and if you click on the computer name, you'll be able to see all the details about the PC. The hardware information and what are the software available in the client PCs can also be seen in this tab. So these are the use cases we have. And now let's go to the real-time scenarios and solutions. So from my support experience, I'll be covering certain real-time scenarios, which will comprehensively cover the benefits of integrating Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. So the first use case is about, so let's say I want to notify all the users about the upcoming fire drill. So how can I achieve this? So you do have an option to create announcement, not just for a fire drill, even if you want to call a certain group of users for a meeting or any message. Let's say a printer is not working, so instead of you get before the users raise a request about it, you can just mention the status. The printer is under maintenance. It will take 1 or 2 hours to work. So such announcements can also be sent either from, you can click on the Home tab. You have this option, Add New, mention the title and message. And this announcement message will appear on all the users' desktop this way. So it will be appearing whatever sessions you're running on the client computer, but still it will appear on the top. It will show the message and the titles here. You can either create the announcement message from ServiceDesk Plus Home tab. If not, go to the Tools section in Desktop Central. You have announcement option here. You can click on Create Announcement, mention the title. If you want to target the complete domain, you can select the domain option and choose the target. If not, let's say if you want to call for a specific group of users for a meeting, just mention that message and you mention the location and you just apply or save this announcement title, and this will appear on all the users' desktop. The second scenario, so I want to get some clarification from the requester with regards to the printer problem that you have reported. So what should I do? So this might also be another common use case because whenever a user sends a request to the help desk technicians, will not be able to, mostly will not mention the complete issue details. So you may need to talk to the users, grab more details, and then you can start troubleshooting. So how to make use of the integration for that? You click on the request section. Let's take the same use case, unable to print. So whether the printer was not configured or the configured printer is not working fine. So to get such information, you do have an option to, if the work group has already been mapped, you have this asset section here. And this Tools tab will help you to remotely choose whether to initiate a chat or so whether to chat or if you want to even after configuring the printers, if you want to reboot the machine, you can also right away initiate it from here. So now, if you want to get more details about this request, you can click on this chat option, choose for which user you would like to initiate a chat, and click on connect. Third scenario. So to understand the problem better, I would want the users to attach a screenshot or a video of the problem. How can I achieve this? Yes. So after integrating Desktop Central, and we do have an option to send help desk request using the agent icon. So if you have enabled this option, log in help desk request, the agents, the users can send the help desk request using the agent tray icon. So you can click on the send the help desk request option, and you can mention the message what issues you're facing, and you can either attach a screenshot or record the session so that this will make the help desk technician more clarity on the user request, what he's facing, and he can troubleshoot it efficiently. So as we saw in this use case, the users can attach a screenshot or a video and we send requests from the agent tray option. Fourth scenario. So I want to run a script to repair my AV application from all the network computers. Can I achieve this? Yes. So we do have an option, public user configuration template. So you can click on the request details, and from this actions tab, you have this resolve using templates option. So if you want to run any script for AV or any specific scripts for to change the password, you can just make use of this template option and target the appropriate computer and deploy the configuration. So what are the integration opportunities we have? So now we have also started supporting the integration of Desktop Central with Spikesworks, ServiceNow, Zendesk, and Jira. So you have all these options in the latest build. You can find it under Admin tab, the same integration section. ServiceNow, Jira, so you can upgrade your server and get all the third-party integration software with Desktop Central. So now let's go to the questions. So if you have any questions, even other than these scenarios or the use cases which we saw, you can update in the chat box. I have my team here will be answering your questions right away. Let's go to the first question. So the frequently asked questions with respect to Desktop Central and STP integration. So this is mostly in our support requests, we get such questions from the users. Do I still need to have both Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus agent after the integration? No. So you just need to have one single agent, which is going to be the Desktop Central agent to carry out all the management activities. So when you initiate a remote connection or the software installation task from your ServiceDesk Plus product, this will be processed by the Desktop Central agent. So I have license to manage 500 nodes in ServiceDesk Plus, and I've purchased license to manage 1,000 computers in Desktop Center. How does the integration work in this scenario? We recommend to have the equal number of license count in both the products. So if we have only 500 in ServiceDesk Plus and 1,000 in Desktop Center, the scenario will be like the first 500 computers in Desktop Central, whichever gets scanned successfully, can only be updated in ServiceDesk Plus product. So whichever computer gets scanned, maybe in this case, the first 500 computers will be updated to the ServiceDesk Plus product, and you can find it under the asset section for it. But still, as I said, we recommend you to have the equal number of license count when you have both the products. Do I need to generate a separate API key for all the help technicians? Yes, of course. So this is an API-based integration. So you need to generate the technician base. We can go to the admin tab, API key generation. You have this benefit option against the each help desk technician, and you can initiate it. So can I integrate only the tools like remote control and chat instead of complete Desktop Central? Yes, you do have an option. So we do have an add-on called Tools add-on. So only the features, whatever available under Tools section, like remote control, remote shutdown, system manager, or chat and announcement feature, can only be integrated with ServiceDesk Plus product. So how long it will take data to be posted from Desktop Center to ServiceDesk Plus? By default, it will just take 2 minutes. If not, whenever a scan has been triggered or completed in Desktop Central, the information will be updated right away to the ServiceDesk Plus product. So when a computer is added or removed in a domain, should I make the changes manually, or how can this be handled by Desktop Central? We go to Admin tab, Scope of Management, and you have SOM policy. So whenever a computer has been removed or haven't contacted the server for certain days, maybe the machine might have been corrupted, but still the agent might be present in the user PC. So in such cases, when a computer has been deleted from Active Directory, you can also delete the agent from the client PC so that you can accommodate new computers, because the license will be based on the workstation. So if you have purchased the license for 100 computers and there are 10 to 15 machines which has already been deprecated but still has the agent in it, it will take up the license count. So it's better to remove the unused computers, and so that you can accommodate the new computers, or you can manage the new machines, whichever is getting added to your domain. So whenever a computer is deleted, you can enable this option. So this will automatically delete the agents from the client PC. And even if the computer haven't contacted the server for certain days, the agents can also be removed. So from Desktop Central, it will be removed. What about ServiceDesk Plus product? So you can also enable that option from ServiceDesk Plus settings. So when an agent is being removed from Desktop Central SOM, if you want to remove the agent from ServiceDesk Plus, you can enable this option. If not, if you want to mark those assets as this ports, you can also enable this option. If not, there won't be any update or status against those PCs. So it's always good to choose or remove the computers whenever it has been removed from the domain, or if you're not going to manage these computers anymore, you can enable this option and save it. So will this integration help me to patch computers from ServiceDesk Plus? Yes, now it is possible. So recently we have enabled this feature, the configuration templates and scripts. You can go to the configuration tab, you can create a template for patch configurations. You can choose install Windows patch, create a configuration, choose whichever patch you would like to deploy, and add it. And save it. So like I said, whatever configuration templates you have created here will be updated to ServiceDesk Plus. So if you want to patch computers from ServiceDesk Plus product, you can go to the request section. Again, under Actions tab, you have this option to choose resolve request using templates. So choose patch configuration, choose the target computer, and deploy it. So if a user raises a request for prohibited software, does it fall as a ticket in ServiceDesk Plus? Yes. So after enabling this option, the Admin tab, ServiceDesk Plus settings, send request to prohibited software. Like I said, in inventory, we have this prohibited software section. So whichever software you would like to restrict from using it in your network, you can just add it. So whatever software added here will automatically be uninstalled, and you can find the status of it. In case if the user sends a request, you can find it here, and you can either approve it or deny it from inventory, from Desktop Center inventory. If not, if you have enabled this ServiceDesk Plus integration option, so when an end user raises a prohibited software request, this will be formed as a ticket again in ServiceDesk Plus product, like how we saw in software approval. In the same way, there will be another ticket logged for prohibited software request, and you can either approve or deny it. If you approve it, the users can use the software for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. If you deny it, the software will be uninstalled right away. So this is how you can also find such requests in the Home tab. So will this integration help me to manage computers which are located in remote office? Yes, of course. So as long as the desktop central server and the FTP server is reachable to the client computers, you can manage the client computers from anywhere. So that is all in today's training program. So you can rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is being the best. And if you like a training program, you do spread a word in the social website with the hashtag ManageEngine or hashtag Desktop Center Product. And the next training schedule is on 16th May about imaging and OS provisioning. So we have integrated this OS deployment tool in Desktop Central now. So you can also see the benefits of having this OS imaging tool in Desktop Central and how we can image the computers using the product. Thank you.